Ivy Larson with Clean Cuisine and more. And today I'm going to show you how to make an apple cranberry crisp, which is surprisingly healthy. The entire recipe only has 5 tablespoons of sugar, which is really, really low when it comes to dessert recipes. But it tastes really sweet, and the sweetness is going to come naturally from the apples and also from raisins, which gives a nice concentration of sweetness, but without added empty calorie sugar. We're going to start with apples. Now we already have 2 apples, which I finely chopped in this big, huge bowl. And I'm going to get started on my 3rd apple, because you're going to need 3 apples total, but I'm using Granny Smith apples. And you'll notice here that I am leaving the skins on, which I know a lot of recipes for apple tarts and apple crisps suggest that you peel the apples, which one is more work, but also when you remove the peels, you're also removing a huge percentage of the fiber, which is really what you want if you're going for a healthy recipe. So I definitely suggest you leave the skins on, and I assure you that you are not going to sacrifice taste in doing so. So we're going to do 3 whole apples that we chop very finely. Also, it's important because I don't buy all my fruits and all my vegetables organic, but I do buy organic apples because organic apples or apples in general are among the dirty dozen, and that means they are one of the 12 most contaminated fruits and vegetables. So I think it's important to get organic if you can. Okay, so we're going to add that to the bowl. Then we're doing 2 cups of cranberries, and these are fresh cranberries, right in like that. We're going to do 1 whole cup of raisins. I'm doing black raisins, but you can do golden raisins if you want. We're going to do a whole cup of chopped pecans. You can also substitute chopped walnuts, but I think pecans taste a little bit better in this particular recipe. And then I'm going to do shredded ginger, and this is just actually grated ginger, but it's fresh ginger, and it's just going to add a little bit of spice, and the spice actually naturally enhances the sweetness that you're going to get from the apples and the raisins. And then we're going to do some sugar. Now, I'm only going to use 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. And it's important that you look for dark brown sugar because it's going to give a richer flavor. So I'm going to do 3 tablespoons of that, which is not very much. And then I'm going to do a teaspoon of cinnamon, just for some extra added spice. I am going to remove my rings, and then you're just going to use your hands to kind of toss all this together. I've already greased lightly this 9-inch baking dish with some extra virgin coconut oil, because that's what we're going to use for the crumb topping. But right now we're just going to get in there with our hands, mix everything together. Make sure that you get the sugar all incorporated so that it coats the apples and the cranberries. And then we are going to toss this right in here, like so. And just to give you an idea of what it looks like close up, and I like to pile the cranberries and the apples up nice and high because you have to remember they're going to concentrate and cook down when you bake them. Okay, so now we're going to get started on the crumb topping. Now I just preheated the oven to 375 degrees, and we're going to use the same bowl that we used to mix the apples and the cranberries. And this is white whole wheat flour. It's King Arthur brand, which is available pretty much nationwide. White whole wheat flour actually has the same nutritional properties and same fiber content as whole wheat flour, but it just looks and tastes and bakes like all-purpose regular white flour. And as you can see, it looks just like white flour. So we're going to add that right in there. And then I'm going to do a 1/2 cup of rolled oats right in. We are going to do, save that for later, that's the extra virgin coconut oil. We're going to do 2 tablespoons of raw honey. This is where we're getting some added sweetness. And if you really wanted to be conservative about the sugar, you could actually even reduce this down to 1 tablespoon. But we're having dinner guests. Actually, I'm serving this for a vegan dinner party, and so I thought I'd make it as sweet as I possibly could while still keeping it healthy. Okay, to wipe the honey off. Okay, so now we're also going to add in flax seeds. I'm doing a 1/4 cup of flax seeds. This is giving us some added omega-3s, great fiber content, and also very important phytochemicals it has, or phytonutrients called lignans, which are very potent anti-cancer fighting phytochemicals. Phytochemicals is synonymous with phytonutrients, but they're plant-based substances that have very health-promoting and disease-protecting benefits. And now for the oil. Now this is extra virgin coconut oil. I get it by the same company that I get the flaxseed, and this is ground flax seeds. It's by Barleans. It's called Fortiflax. It's very important that you use ground flax seeds as opposed to whole flax seeds, not just for the taste benefits, but also that you're going to be able to absorb all the nutrients found within the flax seeds if they're ground. And then the coconut oil actually has a very high heat. It resists oxidation. So it bakes basically just like butter, but it's so much healthier for you than butter because the saturated fat in coconut oil is totally different than the saturated fat that's found in animal fat, like the saturated fat in butter. So this is just a much healthier version of a cooking oil, and it's actually solid at room temperature, which is where I usually store my coconut oil. And this is really good. It's almost like the consistency, and I just use my fingers here, but it's almost like you're using shortening or even cooking with butter because it's hard like this. Now you are just going to get right in here with your fingers and you are just going to mix this all together. And it's kind of messy, so make sure your fingers are nice and clean. Remove your rings ahead of time. You're just going to get in here and mix this all together. Okay, and just to show you what it looks like up close, just like any regular crumb topping. Okay, so now we're just going to put the crumb topping right on our apple and cranberries, just like this. And this recipe is actually great, not only for entertaining, but it's perfect for around the holidays. It's a great alternative to pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving, for example. And we're going to bake this at 375 degrees for about 40 to 50 minutes. You just want to keep your eye on it, and you want to make sure that the topping does not burn. Okay, so we're just going to pop it in the oven. And we're going to bake it 375 for about 40 to 50 minutes. Okay, and that's it. The apple cranberry crisp is done. And if you want to make it extra special just before serving, you're going to pour about a shot glass full of amaretto or brandy just on top, and that's it. It's ready to serve. And if you'd like the full recipe, you can visit me, Ivy Larson, at cleancuisineandmore.com.